friends, welcome back to elenasbarre Low Impact Full Body Workouts. I'm today with my doggy Indio and Coco. Yeah, good to see you, Coco. Guys,
Good to see you.
sorry for starting a little late. We'll try to be concise today. We are going to talk about the red flags in the relationship, in particular when you are dating a woman. So we will start talking about how to vet a woman, and it begins long before you meet her in person, especially thanks to the social media. You can always see what kind of content she's posting there. And what else, Coco? What else would you recommend guys to pay attention to?
Well, one thing that I think that I've noticed with women that's considered a red flag is when she's raised by her mom. Single parent. There's a lot of issues that happen with girls or even men in that matter. Like any child, male or female, that has been raised by a single mother, there normally is some form of red flags. Like it could be the fact, like, because there's no father figure in her life, he doesn't really teach her all the things about what it is to be a lady. And then also at the same time, like because she has daddy issues, she's seeking a lot of attention from men because she doesn't get that from her father. So those are the types of women that you have to be careful that they will sometimes be a little too overt, too flirtatious, like no sense of like stranger danger when it really comes to being cautious around males because they don't have a father figure.
So true. I completely agree with you, especially when they have problematic relationship with the father. Even if they have a father, even if they do have a father figure in the family, it's important to investigate the intersexual dynamics in that relationship, how she's treating her father, how she's talking about her father, and whether the father is holding accountable the mother and her also, because it will be helpful for you in the long-term relationship if you choose to be with this girl. Well, another red flag I would say is when you analyze the content that she's posting on social media. If she's all about herself, Rolla calls it solipsism, she's very self-absorbed, very self-focused. All she's talking about is herself. She puts a lot of pictures of herself, like self-love, self-nurturing kind of pictures, and then she kind of demands the lifestyle from the guys, like talk to me about Italy. So she's trying to set the expectations from you guys, and you have to be very objective, scale her from 1 to 10, see where she stands, because sometimes the average or below average girls, they are just delusional. They want a fancy lifestyle without offering anything in return.
I mean, yes, I think that their social media is a red flag, but I mean, I agree that it also depends on what she's, advertising. But like a person like myself or my friend Puma that I know, we're both competitors. So for us, it's not uncommon, nor is it really necessarily a red flag if somebody, like, if that's their job, like let's say they're a professional fitness trainer or like things like that. I mean, yes, there's going to be a lot of pictures that they post of themselves or working out and their food and all this other stuff. But if it's more of like the lady or the women are actually sexually advertising themselves, like, or they're around big, flashy, materialistic things, that to me is a huge red flag, because that shows that she needs the attention and affirmation from everybody else except for like just that one special person in her life. Like, one sole person giving her attention is not enough. She needs everybody's attention. Yeah. She's got to get that self, like, oh my God, you're so beautiful, you deserve the world, and like, oh my gosh, if you were my woman. Like they're literally just trying to get that kind of attention. So I mean, I think it depends on what the person does for a living in that aspect, to my degree.
Well, it also how they get the money for their services that they provide. What are they willing to sell? If they are exposing themselves semi-naked, because the fitness, and I have been analyzing fitness content that recently has been posted on social media, and I'm sure you've seen it too. It's overly sexualized. When you see semi-naked girls out there, it's hard for a legitimate fitness instructor who is concerned about fitness safety and providing safe fitness instruction to people to make any living out of it, because people are signing up for these girls who are promising fast results. So it's not just enough to be in the area and have this permission of putting this kind of content that, yes, food and your body, because you are a fitness professional, you have to be objective with what kind of content you're providing to people, and people need to be objective when they analyze your content and make decisions based on the objective criteria, not just based on how you make them feel, right?
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, I agree. There's women have, I've said it once, I'll say it again, like men will create something and leave it to women to destroy it. So like there's going to be some way that a woman is actually going to pervert something. So yes, I still dress the same. Like I can't stand looking at, the fitness content that's on social media, because all it is selling sex. I mean, there's one lady that I follow and I love her stuff because she doesn't dress like that. When she's doing ab days, she's still wearing like shorts or long pants. But yeah, she has a sports bra on so you can see the ab workouts. But other than that, like she dresses like she doesn't wear like the booty shorts where their cheeks hanging out and like all this is flopping out. Like, she does it very delicately, which I think is great. Yeah, there's just like women, it depends. Like, it's a red flag when women also say like, but this is what I do for a living. Because if a guy were to tell her like, hey, I don't really like the things that you're posting, like it kind of comes across like you're a floozy or yada, yada, yada. And she's like, well, that's what I do for a living.
Yeah.
Like, that's a red flag, because then that shows that, one, she doesn't desire you as much in order for her to be like, okay, well, what would you like me to take down, or what else would you like me to do? Because she doesn't want you to feel like you're being disrespected in that manner. Like, okay, can you help me find something else that I could do to make money then? Because this is making enough for me to support myself. So do you have any suggestions? Like asking men, or the man that's in her life right now, suggestions on what she can do, because that shows that she respects him. But if she's like, well, you're not paying my bills, and that's a red flag too, is when a woman is like really quick to have an attitude, as opposed to like asking, okay, well, can you explain that to me? Instead, she's just like, she automatically hits you with an attitude and doesn't understand why, or she's like, I don't see why. Like, it's like she's questioning what you're actually asking her. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes total sense. Yeah, she's too combative, or combative. How do you call it?
Yeah, combative. Like you tell her like, hey, I didn't really appreciate this post. She said, well, why do you care about what it is that I post, and what is wrong with this picture? Like, that's not okay. I'd be like, okay, I apologize. I'll take it down. Can you please share with me what was wrong with my picture today? Because that's a woman showing that she's like trying to learn. She's wanting to learn from you. A combative woman, and a woman that does not care about your opinion or respect you, would not care to ask those questions in that manner.
So true. So true. Coco. Yeah, I actually watched a video by Paul from Common Man podcast, and I highly recommend you guys to check it out. He actually lists 39 red flags based on the book by Robert Glover, Dr. Robert Glover, who wrote a book, Essentials for Dating Essentials for Men. I think that's the name of the book. Let me check it out so that I'm correct. Dating Essentials for Men, Frequently Asked Questions. Yeah, that's his third book. So you can go check out the video, and also follow Paul. He makes very good content for men. Okay, so we kind of talked about vetting, the investigation that you guys need to do before you actually meet the woman in person. So then what can you pick up from the first dates? Let's say like a couple of dates, because during the first date you probably will be too busy like watching her behavior and talking about things that don't really matter. Anyway, right? So what kind of information can we see from a woman in her first dates, in the first date?
Well, for me, something that shows as like a really, as a bonus, like a plus for a positive side, being like, okay, this woman knows how to take direction and how to ask the right things, is when a woman actually asks the man, like, what would you like me to wear for our date tonight?
That's a good one.
That's such a positive thing, because it also shows that she looks to the man for direction. And she wants to make sure that she is dressing appropriately in the way that he deems to be appropriate. So if a woman, and again, like, I don't think most women are, raised that way today. So most women would just show up. So let's say she doesn't ask you. Okay, let's say like she doesn't give you, check 1 brownie points for her. She asked me like what I should wear on the date. Like, what would you like me to wear on today's date? One red flag is like, how does she dress when she's with you on that date? Like, is all of her assets hanging out and she's not dressed super modestly? Like, she could, of course, say like, well, I was doing that to get your attention. Well, I'd be like, that's dumb, because you already had my attention, because that's why I asked you out on a date.
Yeah.
If you didn't have my attention at first, I wouldn't have asked you out on a date. You don't have to dress and show everybody your goodies, because now it's like you're advertising to everybody else. And it's almost like you're trying to say like, hey, if this doesn't work out, who's got next?
Who's next? Yeah. Who's next on the list? Yeah. I completely agree with you. Yeah. See if she can follow your lead, and also watch how she behaves with the waiter if you take her out to the restaurant, or what food she orders, and does she look at you, what kind of things you order, and try to adjust her choices based on what you order. So basically what Coco was saying, is she looking for your lead, or she's there just to show off yourself, and then you're supposed to love her for who she is? And yeah. And
the waiter one is interesting. You're not the first person that I've actually heard somebody say, like, you could tell a lot by a woman by how she treats the waitress. And I'm like, really? How so? I mean, because I've been in customer service. I haven't waited, but I've been in customer service. I used to own a coffee shop. So like, I know what it's like in customer service. But I'm like, I'm always nice, but what do you like? I've always wondered that, like, and to branch off of what you said, like when you're like, she's looking at what it is that you're ordering. I think another good green card to give her is when it's one of those things where I will look at the menu. Y'all asking like, what do you think looks good? But I have food restrictions. Like, I'm allergic to a lot of stuff, so I can't have very much. But I will tell, my man what it is that I'm like, I would like this. He's like, what are you going to get? I would like this, please. And I have him order for me. I tell him what I want. He orders for me.
Yeah.
That's what the man should do. The man should order your food.
Yeah, I always tell what I feel like when my husband asks me, what do you feel like eating today? And I tell him, okay, some salad, maybe chicken. And then he looks at the menu and then he picks something for me. It shows trust, that you trust your husband, that you trust your boyfriend or the man that you are with. And let him order for you, let him surprise you, right?
Yeah, exactly. I agree with that.
Yeah, this is something that you can pick up from the first date, how willing she is to follow your lead. And then you can also see if she's combative or not, when in the way how she treats the waiter, for example. Is she willing to listen to the waiter? You can watch your behavior with other people. This is why it's a good idea to take her out to a public place, such as restaurant, or even if you're lucky, maybe nightclub, I don't know. Yeah, some public place where you can see, okay, we have sheep here. You two are too much work for me. I can barely decide what I want to eat at a restaurant. Yeah, make up your mind, Chip. Huh?
I mean, he doesn't have to do the work. Like, they don't have to do the work. Like, the girl's already picking the food. So that's half the battle. He doesn't have to guess for her. She could tell him, but I feel like the man should order. Because that's even what they used to do way back in the 20s and 30s. They take him out on a date and they would ask him, like, what are you going to get? And then she'd be like, oh, I think I'm going to get escargot. And then the next thing you know, he'd be like, I would like this, this, and this, because the man orders first. And then, like, and she will have a this. Like,
yeah,
that's what I'm used to. Like, And I've also seen my dad do that. Like I was raised that way. Like my dad would find out, and he also knew at times he would look at the menu and he'd be like, "You want to get this, don't you?" And my mom would be like, "Yeah, that's what I want." He goes, "Okay." And then my dad will order for my mom. That's what I'm used to.
Because if you look at it also, who pays for the bills, the waitress, it's interesting to check the dynamics, what happens in that scenario when you are at the restaurant. The waiters are usually looking, just pay attention when you go out with Glenn, when you go out with your husband to the restaurant. Watch how the waitress treats both of you differently. Maybe they will look at you to order the food because they're used to women ordering the food today, and then they will look at your husband or your boyfriend to pay for the bills.
This is true, because when we had gone out to dinner, the waitress would come to me first, because ladies first, and then she'd be like, "What would you like to have?" And I'd be like, "Oh." And then I actually like motion to him, and he goes, "She will have this," like motioning like, "Oh, he's gonna speak." Because at first she is confused. She's like, "Wait a minute, you want the man to go first?" But then she realizes that he's ordering for me. She's like, "Oh, okay, now what would you like, sir?" And like the people are used to it.
Are so used to operate under this matrix, under this idea that women are first, women are the priority, men don't matter. Okay, but when it comes to the bills, okay, man, now it's your turn to pay.
I don't know, because we have been at places and they literally have like stuck the bill in the middle of the table. They're like, "I'll just leave this here for you guys to figure it out." Like, some people don't want to assume anymore that the man is going to pay the bill or the woman's going to pay the bill. So they will just like, "I'll leave this here at the middle of the table whenever you guys are ready," because they don't want to be like, "Whose bill is it?" They don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah, they really don't. Yeah, when we know by fact that most men are going to pay, well, unless women, and this will actually show to you guys when you take a woman out for dinner, if she wants to pay her own bill. I know that it's very prevalent in Europe, especially in Germany. When I was living there, I was watching the dynamics in the relationship. I like to watch people. Wherever I go, I just like, I try not to do it like too obvious that people think like, "Oh, you are a freak," but I do observe people. And there was a couple sitting there at the table next to us. There was a lady with a guy, and then she was all telling him how she wanted to have this guy who would be supportive, who would be protective of her. So it was their first date, okay? And then she was telling him what she was looking for in the relationship. And then I was curious because the waiter brought the bill, and then she was like, "I'll pay for myself," and then like split the bill 2 ways. I'm like, "Oh, you just told the guy that you want somebody that you can rely on, and then yet your behavior shows otherwise, that you don't give him the authority to even like pay for your bills."
Well, that may also show that she doesn't want that from him, though.
Yeah.
Like, she's like, "I want this from the guy that I want to be with, but you're not the guy that I want to be with." And accounting sheep, oh my gosh, his last comment is so funny. He's like, "Some people don't want to assume which one is the man." That is so true. And today, they're like, "I'm not going to assume it nothing anymore."
Yeah.
It's so true.
So true. Yeah. Women behave like men, and then they expect men to behave in a manly way. How does it make sense? If you behave like a man, men will not want to deal with you. At least like normal men, the traditional, conventional men who are raised in a traditional way, who are the protectors, who are more masculine, they want to take care of the woman. They will not want to deal with a masculine woman, because it's like man marries man. They don't want that.
Yeah, no man wants to feel like he is dating or marrying a version of himself.
True.
No man wants that. No man wants that. Sure, let's pretend I'm that behavior.
Okay. We got you, Ship.
Like it's true though. Like it is what it is. Like in all honesty, it's like there are so many red flags that people can just people that sometimes don't realize that they can just overlook. Another big red flag, which can work for either sex, but it's most common for women, is watching their actions. Like, do their words match their actions?
Yeah.
And that's a big thing. Because again, a person can say, or a woman can say, like, oh yeah, I want that life. I want to cook. I want to clean. I want to do all these things for my man. And I want to dote on him and rub his feet and make his bath and all that other stuff. But then, okay, give her the opportunity to do that. Like, see if she actually offers to cook you one night for you one night. See if she actually takes the opportunity to ask you, like, what's your favorite dish? Because let's say you're getting to know each other, and she, like, one of her things that she says, like, I like to cook. Because what are women being raised of? Like, one way to win a man's heart is through his stomach. A man loves a woman that can cook. So sometimes women don't even know how to cook. They'll just say that they can cook because they know that it looks like a bonus. And then once they trap you, they're like, well, they'll cook for you, but then they're like, well, I don't want to cook for you anymore because you always criticize my cooking, instead of just taking cooking classes or being like, yeah, I lied. Like, I'm not the greatest cook, but I'm ready for improvement. Like, see if she actually asks you, like, what's your favorite dish? And then one day she actually makes it for you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, those are things that women should be showing their man, like, that they are practicing, like, what it is that they preach to you about. Like, whatever they're selling you is true. Like, go to her house. She says she likes to clean. Does she have a clean apartment, or is it a mess? Because if she can't pick up after herself, what makes you think that she's going to be able to also maintain your guys' whole house?
Yeah.
If she can't. Like, so I think it's more of like, watching her actions to see if the things that she says about herself or boasts or brag about herself actually matches what she does in her own life. Is she good with money? Let's say she's like, oh, I'm really good with money. That's a bonus for me. But she's always out of money. Like, then that's a woman that you're also going to be a red flag, being like, okay, well, now if she can't survive off her own income, what is she going to do when there's two of ours? Am I going to have to work extra hard? Am I going to have to try to make extra money because she's very materialistic or she's not good with her finances? How is she going to take that? Am I going to have to tell her, like, I need to be in charge of the finances? Anything that's over a certain amount needs to be run by me to make sure that we can afford it, and see how she takes that. Most women don't want that kind of restriction.
But they want you to take the full responsibility for their actions, and if they go overdrive or if they overspend, they want you to cover for it. And this is where the absurdity begins with women. It's like, yeah, you want a man to be responsible for all of your choices, for all of your mistakes, but you don't want to give a man any authority for the amount of responsibility that he takes for you. And guys, if you are committing to a woman, you are taking a lot of liability and a lot of responsibility for her family, for her choices, for your children's choices. So I understand why a lot of men choose to check out and not deal with women today, because we honestly, women, we don't help ourselves. We really could behave better. We could be more feminine. We could be what men wanted, but instead, you choose to be independent, strong, and masculine.
True, but again, even a masculine woman, she will be submissive to the right guy. So that's the biggest key, is that guy has to be everything that woman has dreamed about. Like, he's got to be the right kind of dominance. He's got to be the right kind of handyman. He's got to be the right kind of provider. Like, does he hold a steady job? Is he consistent? Do I need to worry about these things? Because that's where women feel like at that point in time that they need to try to take control. But it's like, but then that's where the woman screws up, because, like, you should not be in that situation if you feel like you're going to have to worry about stepping out of your line, out of your lane. So it's like women need to be better on who they're vetting, because then they want to use their bad experiences to blame that on all the other guys. And they'll use that in their relationships. They're like, well, I'm not okay with this because this guy did this to me. That's a red flag too. If your girl is, or a girl or a woman is constantly trying to let's say you bring something up to her and she's like, oh, I can't do that because of my past. I have no doubt that she has trauma, but then you shouldn't be with her until that trauma has been healed. Because now she's just going to use that as an excuse when she needs to get out of repercussions.
So true, so true. And also in regards to trauma, guys, this goes like later in the later stage of relationship, when you have known a woman for a while and you can connect the two dots together, right? What she's about. And if she's all about her trauma and she's in this constant healing process, she's doing a therapy. It's a separate question whether therapy is good or bad. I mean, if it works, it's probably good. But if she's constantly there and she's hopeless and like a BPD, there are certain conditions in psychology that are not curable. You won't be able to treat them no matter how hard you try. They might be better off with a psychotherapist, honestly, if the other person is healthy, stable, and happens to be a psychologist or a psychotherapist who can kind of navigate through those conditions. But if you are just a normal human being, why would you want to engage with people who have mental illnesses? It's not like I don't try to sound racist, but at the same time, you have to realize that, for example, the BPDs, they feed off the narcissists, you know, and other way around. They kind of belong to each other, but it's a very toxic, very dysfunctional relationship. They're going to create a lot of mess for themselves later on, maybe also for their children, and undoubtedly for the surrounding world around them. So at the expense of everybody else, yeah, those two could be happy together, but because there is something literally wrong in their brain, they won't be able to process the information in the same way. And I'm bringing it up to you guys because there are more BPDs out there than you think. And obviously there are more narcissists. And if you are careful in your vetting process, you can anticipate, you can predict a lot of women's behavior when you are just scrolling through your Instagram page, when you're looking through what kind of content she's posting. And then when you're sitting across the table with her, and then she's talking about me, or everything is about you. This is a huge red flag that a lot of guys miss.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, 100%.
Oh, sorry, Jack Sides. We kind of missed your comments here. Let us go back a little bit. I'm a man, but I was in a sector that's very much woman-dominated. So, oh, yeah, let me put this one here. So, a lot of real deep experiences and raw discussions with women from all sorts. I'd love to see what you guys think. What's your question? Sorry, can you write it down? And guys, try to formulate your question well, okay, so that we we get the full idea of what you are asking us, okay? Yeah, I would say a woman plays on what your man accepts. Yeah.
Well, that's why men are also supposed to set the tone in the household, in the relationship, being like, hey, this is what's acceptable, this is what's not acceptable. And, you know, if, you know, sometimes women, if she's not fully mature there yet, they will basically what they call a shit testing. So they'll try to shit test you to see, it's like toddlers, like they'll try to see like, okay, let me see if, like how serious he really is about that. And they'll try to push the boundary line. And then if you're like, no, I said we're not doing that, they're like, okay, so then I can't get away with that.
Yeah. It's actually good and healthy for women when men can say no to them. Women respect frame. The problem is, and this is something that COCO was talking about, all women would submit to a strong, masculine, rational man. Yes, but the extent of that strength and masculinity required to train or civilize those women, it's up to a man whether he wants to put up with you, whether he wants to invest his time and the amount of effort that would be required for him to work with that woman. Or it's like training horses, you know.
Well, yes, I mean, but it's not necessarily like you need to train a woman to be in your frame. The thing is a man is supposed to have a frame that is going to be desirable to the right woman. If he holds all of the traits and qualities that a woman finds very desirable, he doesn't need to train her, because she's going to do what she needs to do, knowing that this is the kind of woman that he's looking for. Because he's also going to voice that. He's going to be like, I'm looking for a woman that, isn't going to be confrontational. I need to know, looking for a woman that's going to trust what I'm saying. But also at the same time, that man needs to know that, unfortunately, men have the burden of performance. So she will openly and wholeheartedly, willingly give that to you. She will, as long as a man stays consistent and he shows that he really is about what his frame that he speaks about. He doesn't necessarily need to train her. Of course, us women are flawed like everybody else. So there is going to be some times where, just like a man, a woman's going to slip up, and we might slip up more because we're emotional creatures. So for us, we may slip up more. And it's more about correcting and educating, the woman in the right way to where she's able to accept it and receive it positively. So then she can make them like, okay, I can see what you're saying. Like, I'm going to work on that because she wants to be a better version of herself. Because you, that man, makes her want to be a better version of herself. Because if you're this awesome guy, then she's not going to feel to a degree that she is worthy of you. She's failing.
Mm-hmm. Well, what I was referring to, that when guys say that all women would submit to a strong, rational man, if you look at the extreme feminists out there, the amount of patience and work that a man would need to do on that woman, whether the risk is worth the reward, what would he get in the end, whether the juice is worth the squeeze.
Yeah.
So instead of finding a better, more compliant woman out there, and there are a few women who are more compliant, you would have to break a horse, literally. Because if she's so combative that she fights you on every single hill is to die on, there is no point in continuing that kind of relationship from the rational standpoint, because you would much rather spend that energy and time on getting better at what you do or attracting a different kind of woman. And this is where men need to be careful with it. I agree that yes, women will break rules for betas, and they will break rules for alphas, and they will break rules for alphas, so they will make rules for betas. Something is wrong with me, we can't talk, right? But at the same time, we need to realize the extent of it. Yes, messed up feminist would probably break your rules too, but your husband would have to be literally he would have to portray the qualities of the dark triad. He would have to be narcissistic. He would have to have some psychopathy and be very, very abusive with her, really, because some women, they don't get it when a man talks to her in a nice way, when he's trying to apply more rational criteria on her. You know what I mean? She would only understand the abusive kind of behavior.
Yeah. See, but I mean, because again, us as women are very emotional creatures, and speaking to a woman in a soft tone, I mean, it says that biblically, in Proverbs 15:1, it even says, speak in a soft tone to deflect anger, and I can only imagine, even being a man, how frustrating it can be with, being married and having a woman from time to time. I know it can be frustrating, because we are, as Brola would say, or how he corrected me once, is that women are the more vulnerable sex. And we are. And but that's also why, like, men are attracted to women, because there are things about our vulnerability of us complements them. And, it's like one of those things where it's like women, women will, it's weird. It's almost like women will, some women, the toxic ones, they will not admit when they're wrong, especially if they feel like they're being attacked. Because if they're like, if you're already yelling at me or you're already attacking me, like, I don't even want to know what the repercussions are going to be like, you know? But the fact is, like, that's where it shows maturity. Like, yeah, does that person have every right to be upset? Does he have every right to be upset? Yes, he does. Could it be handled different? Absolutely. But you know what? You need to, I mean, you shit the bed, you need to make it. So, like, I mean, that's just one of those things, how it works. It's just, you gotta, like, men speaking, like, it sounds so bad, like, saying, like, speak to her like she's a child, but sometimes that's really what men gotta do. Because sometimes that's exactly how women can act. They can act like big children, unfortunately. Yeah. Like, I don't like it when you're yelling at me. Well, duh, nobody likes being yelled at. Like, nobody likes being criticized. Nobody likes being told that they're wrong or, you know, that they screwed up, and because they're gonna be like, what does that mean next? You know, like, it sucks. Like, red flag, any woman who uses the word mansplaining. What is mansplaining?
Yeah, Sheep, explain it to us, please.
What is mansplaining? I think I've heard it before, but I don't know what that means. I have no clue. What is that? I know, right? Like, I don't know what that means.
Okay, let's put the StreamYard link here. Whoever gets here first gets here first. Coco would need to leave soon, right, Coco? Let's see who calls in, because people were asking us to join our conversation. Yeah, we are talking about the red flags in the relationship here, and these are all very good red flags, guys. Or about her physical appearance, also an important factor. Is she willing to work on herself? What kind of food she eats? Does she have healthy habits? That could be something to pay attention to as well, because this will also impact your life. Okay, Jack is here. Jack, I'm going to add you here. Are you ready? We don't see you. Okay, cool.
You guys hearing me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Good. Okay, perfect. I'm from France, so I kind of have an accent. I'm sorry.
That's
cool.
Okay.
All right, I'll go for it.
Okay, so you guys were talking about behavior, right? Women, red flags, and everything. Really, really interesting. I wanted to say one thing first of all is that, tell me if I'm wrong because you guys are the first represented, but I would say that a woman does all those things only if her man allows it. Like, I was writing it, but basically what I was saying is that it is true that a woman can, in a way, be emotional, in a way, be like inconsistent in their choices, which is not necessarily like a bad thing, but yeah. But I would say that a woman knowing that her man doesn't allow that, like, you guys know the threshold. You see what I'm saying? You guys know your man so well that you know when he's gonna
Okay, the internet is cutting out, Jack.
that, and that's what a woman does in the beginning. Oh fuck! Can you hear me better? Sorry, I'm like at art atelier. But yeah, did you hear what I said?
I got to the last part is where you're saying that she, like, if her man accepted, like, if she knows her man so well, she knows what he is and isn't willing to accept.
You guys know the threshold of your. It's like by shit testing, as you mentioned it right in the beginning. What a woman does is like kind of interpreting fuck, like kind of understanding the whole behavior, what her man is really. Like you said, also, if he withhold to his words, is he like a man of word or whatever? All those things are like calculated in the beginning. And then also, if, I mean, of course, if the guy allows it, the woman will do as much as she wants. Do you get my point?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think so.
I
mean,
think of this.
I think I agree, Elena. If you do, I mean, I think that yes, a woman, a man, again, as I said, is supposed to set the tone in the relationship. Meaning, when they set the tone, like, also he sets the tone when he comes home. You know, if he's in the mood, everybody's gonna be in the mood. So like,
Exactly. And
but
if he
if
doesn't
he's
do
saying
it,
like, hey,
she does
these
it.
are how things are going to be, this is what I do and do not accept, moving, like, this is what I'm looking for in a wife, these are the things that I want in a wife, and what I am going to provide is this in return for this kind of wife, for this kind of woman.
Yeah.
And when she does those things, let's say she tries to shit test him, he's going to be like, no, that's not how we're doing this. I said that's not how we're doing this, but he's not doing it in a belittling or demeaning manner. He's doing it in a
Of course,
corrective manner.
always you, yeah,
And then
you
it
have
shows that she's like, okay, I know that I can't get away with this because
and you
he's
guys like
showing
it even
consistency.
more, and
Mhm.
yeah, and even this becomes something positive for you, because like when I said couple theory, my thing is, what I truly think is that every relationship, if it goes bad, quote unquote, it's because the man didn't have the right place. Because I'm in a relationship since like 2 years now. I've had I did modeling a lot. So, and I had the opportunity like to talk to really, really beautiful girls from like any shapes and forms, right? And that's what I understood in the end, is that you guys are looking for assurance, and it goes by so many things. It goes by, does he accept this? Because if he does accept this bullshit I'm doing, it's not worth investing it. And that's what a shit test is. Because you see, like all this red pill shit, like people think that women are bad because you guys have those specific like filters or perception about a man. But for you, this is necessary. Like you have been the one who have been courted since the beginning of your life, so of course your goal is different. You have all, it's like, right, like you have all these type of food. Well, at some point you're going to be like, I'm going to take care of myself. And that's what men don't really understand. You see my point?
Mhm.
And yeah, and those shit tests are here for you to either see that he's lacking here in this area and it's not good, or he doesn't, and that's very good. Yeah.
Yeah, because when a man's not lacking any showing consistency, it also helps a woman to have genuine desire. Because she
True.
also has more respect, because she's
She
like,
has
I can
more
see that
respect,
everything with you is consistent, and
yes,
men want respect and women want to be loved.
and but women want a man who respects himself. A woman will love, truly love, because there's two types of couple in life, and you guys, I think you guys are like smart enough to see that there is women who don't love and women who do love. And you guys also know that there's a lot of couple that are actually on the first side, right? Like, and the guy is absolutely clueless. But why
Mhm.
is that? Because he didn't have this sense of respect, this sense of stability, this thing that really shows the woman that she can literally put herself on him and be like, okay, you're like, let's go. I don't know where you want to go, but I can trust it. And that's where like a couple fucks up, because the woman can sense that. Like you guys are, that's what I was saying. You guys are so good at emotional speaking. Like you guys are speaking always in double tone, double turn. I've learned that. And men, you guys talk about it so much that men don't understand words. They don't understand your looks or the way you talk, you know? And it's like you guys are so smart about it that you can sense things. And it's important for you to sense in the person that you're with that he won't put up with your shit. And you
Mhm.
try on and
It
on a
happens
little
on a
bit.
visceral level almost. It's
Yeah,
in the
I feel
middle, and also
that's, yeah,
like a
like
not so much emotional, but fight or flight mode in the brain.
no, it's
Women can feel it,
it's
yeah.
yeah, it's survival instinct. It's like me by myself. You guys can take of yourself, take care of yourself, right? I mean, I see a beautiful room on the right, and you also, you're doing your thing, Alina. But if there is a man that has to be in your life, this guy needs to not beat me. I'm talking as a woman, right? But not put up with everything that I could do. And if, because it's my personality, it's my world, if he doesn't put up with the things I do, it means I can trust him to carry this thing. Because otherwise, you're just in a couple to pass the time because you guys don't want to be alone, you know?
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, there is a difference between settling and being with someone, and because that's where women
Oh,
are
sorry,
opportunists.
I used the
They'll
wrong
settle for
word.
someone because
Yeah,
they
I
feel like they
used
have
the
no
wrong
other
word.
options, and then when somebody has an option, then they'll transfer and they'll monkey branch to the next person.
Yeah,
But a person that has
yes,
genuine
because you
desire,
got a
that's
lot.
completely different.
But I mean, and I think I've come to the point where I feel like I truly understand the instinct of it, so I don't even judge it. But yeah, it's completely true. Like a lot of women, and since you guys are basing your power on what power you have over people in terms of, you see, like perception, beauty, and stuff, that's your realm. Well, yeah, if you're with someone that doesn't really fit, you're of course going to look for someone else. But I don't think it's necessarily bad. I just think it's necessary for you to be with someone that like that really stands, because you guys get tricked also. That's what I understood. It's like in the beginning you think he's like this, but then you realize by shit testing that he's not.
Well,
And
shit
it
testing
happens.
is a survival mechanism for women because how else
Yeah,
would she determine whether a man
yeah, yeah.
is worthy
Like
of
yeah,
her investment and her time? Can he provide? Can he take care of her? If she
mm,
plans to have children with him, it's essential that she should test him first. So what we are
yeah.
talking here about is the red flags. What would be the red flags for you in a woman?
Um, many. Okay, let's give me like a context. Give me something, because I mean, just like men,
Well,
there is
okay,
like
what you
thousands.
take a woman on a first date, what would you
Mhm.
pay attention to?
I would pay attention to the question she asks. I would pay attention to her, where she's looking, extremely important, where she's facing, the way she answers to my response, and super importantly, the way she answers after I answer the question, you know, because that's where actually where you see, um,
Oops, he disappeared.
I
Yeah,
think
well,
he accidentally exited out.
yeah, probably he might be back. Ashton, do we have Johnny here or not yet? Because I don't see Johnny requesting to get in. He's getting the microphone ready. Okay. Well, you guys have like 15 minutes left because Coco will have to leave soon. Yeah, let's finish talking with Jack here. So, yeah, Jack,
sorry.
uh, so you would pay attention to how she responds to your questions. What kind of questions would you ask her?
Me, I, I'm kind of a weird person. I mean, I'm an artist and shit, so, and a lot into psychology. I would ask question about herself, really. I like to get into people directly. I don't care about anything else, or talk about what they like, what they don't, and how they like it. But like, to answer the red flag thing, you can, I would say, in the first date, the way to see if a woman is like interested in you, if she's actually interested in you, because there is this level where a lot of men during the first date think she's interested, but doesn't see that she doesn't like answer back, or she asks us question, but in the end it just goes there. A woman, truly, when she likes you, she's interested. Like, she wants to know more and more and more,
Hmm.
and why, and and also, like, yeah, position. My father is like a synergolog, like, corporate behavioral analysis. So yeah, like, a lot of, where is she looking at her hands? Is she using her phone? Is she,
That's a good
is
one.
she, yeah, is she trying to make sure her hair is good? If she's laughing at my jokes? Yeah.
Those are good points, guys. Those who are watching, write down. I actually
Yeah,
wanted to talk about the
yeah.
phone, how often she's using the phone, even
Mhm.
when you are dating and you are living together. If she comes to lunch and then she constantly is on
Oh
her
yeah, the
phone,
phone, very important. The
they are
phone, very
very
important.
important.
On the first day, let's say if she uses her phone while she's laughing, maybe she's texting her bro like, damn, this shit lit as fuck. This bro is like, he's very cool. So careful, guys. But most of the time she's using her phone. She doesn't give a fuck. Yeah. But there is also a response to that. It's like, I guess you will agree with me. It's like, if you also make a woman realizes that you don't care, all of a sudden there is a shift in energy. It can be in the first date. For example, let's say she uses her phone and she doesn't look interested, and all of a sudden, I mean, depending on the person relay, she could also act uninterested, and she could also maybe feel, but whatever. For the phone, also in the relationship, if she hides her phone,
Mm,
guys,
yeah. She's probably cheating on you,
of
and
course,
especially if he installs the passwords, that would be the first
yeah,
red flag.
passwords, apps,
Mm-hmm.
passwords on apps. Your wife will want to show you if she doesn't, the way she shows you stuff on IG, like funny memes and stuff. If she shows it to you but keeps the phone, or doesn't want it to show you like a long time, this is very important.
Oh yeah, like if she gives you the phone to look at, she's like, "Okay, you done yet? Okay, you done yet?" Like,
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I can
yeah,
see
yeah,
that
yeah.
being a red flag because then
Big red
she's
flag.
worrying about like what's possibly gonna pop up
What's gonna
time
pop up?
that you have her phone.
You're so right, Coco. What's gonna pop up? Like she's scared of
Hmm.
something. She's showing you a meme, but at the same time she's prudent. It doesn't make sense. The phone very important. The the way she answers. If you're jealous, first of all, it amplifies her being possibly cheating. Is it true?
Or if
I
she's jealous, or if a guy is jealous.
If the guy is jealous.
I
In
don't.
a
I think that's subjective. I mean, like
Yeah.
there
yeah,
needs to be a
true.
form of a little bit of jealousy because that shows that
Oh
you
yeah,
care about losing someone. But
of
if he's
course.
like jealous, like where it's
Mm,
crazy jealous, that's gonna cause her to want to leave because that's unattractive. There is a healthy amount of
yeah,
jealousy and
exactly.
a toxic amount of jealousy.
Of
Because
course.
that jealousy eventually will turn into insecurities. Like if he's
Oh no, it
over
is.
jealous, it could turn
It
into an
already is.
insecurity.
You're
Mhm.
so right, Coco. It already is insecurity. Jealousy in itself is insecurity. This person is already with you. The perception that you have is that she may do something with someone else, but don't you realize she's seeing person every day? Like it's not about this. It's just about your mind, your perception about it. You just feel like she could leave you. So it was never about her.
I
Like
think that jealousy. I would agree with Paul and Red Pill Sue and other Red Pill guys who are talking about jealousy. There should be a good amount of healthy amount of jealousy in a woman, because then she would be dreadful. She would be a little scared of losing you, and
yes,
if she's not
that's
scared of that, that could
very
also
true.
inspire her sincere desire for you, because she
So true.
appreciates you. She knows
So
that
true.
you are this great man with you, and she doesn't want to look for another man out there.
Exactly.
So a
That's
little
You're
her
jealousy.
absolutely right.
protecting her investment. That's what that is. A healthy amount of jealousy is protecting one's investment.
A woman protects her women are godlike at knowing how to invest in themselves. It's
Good.
like, yeah, of course. So, yeah, of course, if she, yeah, clearly, I
Good
didn't want to stop you.
points. Yeah, good points, Jack. Thank you so much for showing up. I'll have to say bye to you.
Yeah, of
We'll
course.
switch to Johnny so that we listen to his story really
Big
quickly,
pleasure.
okay?
It was nice to meet
Thank
you guys.
you. Take
Bye.
care.
Me
I'll see you
too.
on the chat anyway. I'm going to speak. Bye.
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 Hi, everyone.
Hi, Johnny. Good
Bye,
to see
Johnny.
you.
It's good to see you. I've just been enjoying the show and the conversations.
I'm going to mute myself. Coco, keep it up, please. I have to shut up my dog for a second.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I've
Okay.
just really been enjoying the conversation so far. And
Oh,
Ashley,
thanks.
Neil,
What are some of your red flags? I would love to hear from your perspective. Like, what red flags have you actually gotten before?
the previous person who was on brought up a few good points. The phone issue, I've noticed that before. If that's a big red flag. If she keeps checking her phone, she's really, I think, not into you. I personally, I haven't had that, but I've noticed that before. Like, it is an issue that could be something like a red flag. Talking about previous, I actually want to ask you guys a question. Would a red flag be if she keeps bringing up her previous ex-boyfriends a lot?
In what context?
Yes.
Just always bringing up a certain name or just bringing up just an ex always.
If if it's reminiscing style, yeah, that's a red flag. If it's more like, let's say you guys got in an argument or you guys went somewhere and like maybe she had a bad memory with him and she's like, hey, I don't really want to go here. You know, my ex and I used to go here and that was a really bad relationship. Like, that's not a red flag. It's only if she just keeps, oh, my ex and I used to go here and I really enjoyed it. Oh, yeah, I went here with my ex and this was really great. Like, those are red flags.
Okay, yeah.
It could also mean that, sorry for interrupting, I'll just add my point here. It could also mean that she's comparing you with the previous guy that she used to date, and she's trying to see whether you can outbeat, whether you are better than that guy or not. She could be doing it as a form of shit testing in a way. But then if she also reminds of your ex-boyfriend's or husband's shortcomings, for example, oh, he's such an asshole, he treated me so badly, he's so horrible, and everything is always about his fault. She's blaming him. She's not holding the accountability for her own actions.
Okay, I see.
Okay, Ashton here. I'm not a red flag, see?
There you go.
It's so funny, guys.
Yeah, I didn't name any names. So.
I know. Well, she takes it to
it's also red flag if someone starts telling you that, you know, like, oh, you're doing this, then my ex used to do that, like all the time. Like those kinds of things are red flags, because then the red flag in that is because they haven't healed from that trauma. And then that trauma is then going to muddy the water in your guys' current relationship. Yeah,
because for me, sometimes hearing a name constantly brought up, sometimes you feel sidelined, like you're not the one that's currently in her life or in her thoughts, You kind of feel like you're almost secondary because if a name keeps getting brought up over and over again,
She's comparing she's comparing you to the guy, or maybe she's signaling to you, oh, this guy was so good, he treated me like a princess, so now you need to keep up that standard. And this is the problem with the alpha widows. She's probably frustrated that she hasn't engaged with that guy. And
that's what I was just thinking. I'm like, she could be alpha widowed and she is like really regretting her decision that she made. And now she's trying to think, like, how can I give this guy hints to make him a little bit more like that in these areas? Because this is what I really miss from him.
Okay. I see.
You know how, like, guys sometimes will do that with women? Like, they'll be like, oh, I really wish you would wear this dress more. Or, like, get longer skirts. Or, like, get more skirts to wear. Like, that's men letting their woman know, like, hey, these are some of the things that I really like, like that I find attractive. Like, why don't you try to get some of those? And a woman will do that for her man to please. And she's like, oh, you like longer skirts? Like, yeah, why don't you get some longer skirts? You don't have very many. It's almost the same thing, where she's like alpha widowed in certain areas and she's trying to subconsciously like kind of throw those little nuggets in there to you, being like, hey, like, I really liked this, or I really missed this. And then hoping that you would be like, okay, so I hear that she likes this. So maybe if I do that, that'll help our relationship in this area more. Because she's wanting those certain qualities that she misses from him to be from you.
Could also be a lack of closure for her. Maybe she
absolutely.
She never, got to say whatever she wanted to say, maybe, and then she's saying it to me, almost. That's a surrogate.
Well, if she's venting to you, then yes. But if it's not a venting situation, it could just be her upset with her decision.
Okay, I see.
So it all really depends on the context. If I was talking, let's say you and I were together and then I'm sitting here and I'm telling you about my ex and I'd be like, I really just don't like the fact that he did this, or, this was great, but then this really sucked. And, all this stuff just really happened. Like, that's me not getting closure.
Yeah.
That's not getting closure. But if I'm talking to you and, I'd be like, you know what? I used to do this. I really miss doing that. We used to do this all the time together. Or like, I really liked going to this place, but now I don't have the money to go to this place. Or I miss getting my hair and my nails done all the time, but now I can't really afford to do it because he paid for that. That's her having regret for her decision.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. or like she's talking about the travels, the trips that she's done with this guy. We went to this place, we went here, we went there. And this is why when you are dating and when you're looking through the apps, I don't think it applies to you, but some other guys who are watching here, when you see on a dating app, a woman says, for example, talk to me about Italy. That's the example I brought up to you. Or something else that that signals to you that she is high maintenance. Let's say that she requires a lot of work, a lot of investment, and the fancy lifestyle. This could be a red flag, because if you look at her objectively, especially if you see her pictures, you can kind of detect how much Photoshop she used there and how she looks on the scale of 1 to 10. If she's just a 3, and we've talked about delusion in women for in multiple videos now. Be objective and don't fall for it, because it's just another manipulation that women are using on you to get more of what they want.
Right. I agree.
Yeah, me too.
Very, very interesting points, guys. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for calling in. Coco, how are you doing on time? Do you have to go?
I do have to go soon, but if he had another question or wanted to make a comment or share an experience of a red flag, I can do that.
Cool. Okay, let's see, guys. Last. Do you have more questions, Johnny?
Right off the let me think. Would it be good to not fall into the trap? Say that let's say that you're going out with somebody and they used to do certain things. Should you avoid, say, certain I don't know what I'm trying to say, going through the same pathways that maybe she used to do with the other guy, or
like not doing the same patterns, or
yeah, exactly. Sorry, I was kind of blanking on that. Yeah.
No, okay. So you mean like let's say she, like, her and her ex used to go to Disneyland a lot and she likes to go to Disneyland.
Yes.
So try not to take her to Disneyland as often. Like, I think that that's accurate. Like, maybe not take her as often, but if she likes Disneyland, you don't want to withhold her not going to Disneyland.
I see. That actually does help. Yeah. That actually really
because
helps.
the reason why you wouldn't want to do that is because she has old memories with her ex at that place. But you can create new and better memories at that place. So now she forgets about those, and now it's only about you and your guys' experience.
Okay, I like that. Okay, that's really cool. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it makes sense what Coco said. If you, if you take her to the same restaurant, let's say, or if you travel, you need to build the experiences and the memories with you, so that she doesn't think about that other guy, and maybe take her to certain activities that you could do together, like extreme activities, like flying with a parachute, or like that could blow her mind, and then she would forget about your ex. You know, if she has this, alpha widows are hard to deal with, honestly, because especially if a woman has high body count, chances are that she has encountered more alphas in her lifetime, and every alpha that she meets, alphas are very rare, right? So every man that she meets, it limits your ability to find another guy like that, right? And she will constantly, if alphas have a very big imprint on women, and women will be always comparing the guys to the alphas. The only advantage you have with a low body count woman is that she wouldn't have encountered so many alphas that you would have to outbeat. So for you to outbeat one alpha, it's better for you. It's probably less work also from financial standpoint, like the ego investment standpoint, right? But if she has encountered too many of them, that could be dangerous. That could be a red flag also. Oh, another one, Coco, how could you forget red flag? Single mothers.
Oh yeah, single moms.
Oh my gosh, I was thinking, like, we forgot something.
I only think it's a red flag. I personally only think a single mom is a red flag if you don't have kids and you've never had kids. I really do. I don't think that there is anything wrong about two people that have both been divorced, that both have kids, and want to make a Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
I do not think that that's a red flag because they are both wanting to have a family. But it is a red flag if you're single or you don't have a kid and all of a sudden she wants you to be the new baby daddy so that way she can get child support and alimony from you later, that a kid that doesn't even belong to you, that's a red flag. I mean, I know people that both have kids and they're dating and they're doing it in a way that they know is smart for both of them. They don't live together. Their kids' visitations with other, with each other and their exes are on the same schedule. So what they do is they will spend their time when they don't have the kids together. And then when they have their kids, they go home and they spend their time with their kids. They don't integrate their family.
Oh, wow.
And they both have kids and they're like, we're just going to do our time once the kids are grown. Like, we don't need to worry about that drama because that's where some people are smart. They're like, I don't want to have to worry about the drama that may come with, him, disciplining my kids or me trying to discipline his kids. So so single moms that trying to get single people is a huge red flag. But if you're trying to migrate a family because both of you wanted big families, and there's nothing wrong with that, in my opinion, if as long as that situation is vetted right.
Yeah, as long as if it's vetted right, and then if they apply objective criteria, not overestimated self-worth of a woman, like a lot of them. You see, some of them don't even mention that they have children. Men have to find out in other ways that they have children, because a lot of women lie because they realize how much drainage kids actually are, especially when they have a living father elsewhere who is not, who they don't want him to be liable, who probably still pays child support and alimony, but he's not a high status guy. So now she wants somebody who will pay and fund her lifestyle and take care of her kids. So that could be a huge red flag for me. If I was a single man, I know I would know that I could do better. There are so many single women out there who haven't had this kind of baggage. No, seriously.
Yeah, that's true.
When you see this younger man and they engage with women who already have children, it's like, you first of all are raising a child who is not biologically your child. How does it make sense? And then if the father one day decides to show up, like, you can lose your wife like really quickly. If she had feelings for that guy that she fathered the child with, and she's just with you because you are convenient, because you pay the bills, this would be my number one question. That, okay, you popped up a kid with this man, go back to this man, because it's also better for the child to be raised by his biological father, assuming he's not like an alcoholic or drug user or abuser. But then, like, why would you, like, women have access to sex, men have access to relationships. You chose to spread the legs, you chose to pop up the kids with this man. Maybe you should have thought about whom you want to have children with before you opened your legs.
That's a good point. I agree.
It's like women need to be held more accountable, I think, because the amount of delusion that we allow them to live in by not talking about these topics, by not, I don't want to call like shaming women for their behavior, but effectively it's kind of what we are just trying to bring women to higher standards, because I think this is healthy. This needs to happen. It will help, and it will also help women in the long run to make less stupid choices that they will regret later on.
I mean, just because women do have more, more options as far as, sexual availability does not mean that a woman needs to exercise it. That's the difference.
Yeah.
Yes, it's nice. So that's a benefit about being a woman, is that you may have more options, but that does not mean you need to exercise it. That's where willpower and strength and morals and values and standards come in. Like, be more selective on who it is you sleep with. I mean, I know it can be a little contradicting because, sometimes in the red pill space, people have said like the pussy is never worth the wait. But I mean, I think that that's if a woman tells you like, I'm going to make you wait because this is so good. Like, that's different. But if a woman is like, I'm basing off of my convictions, like, if it's like a religious thing or a spiritual thing or something like that, I don't think there's anything wrong with that because,
no.
you know, also she's like, I want to reserve my body count. If a woman is like, I want to reserve my body count, I don't want to sleep around thinking that that's what's going to get me to find the right guy or that's going to seal the deal, then she doesn't have to worry about her body count elevating. And then she's going to find somebody that values her and respects her more because like, okay, so you're not just an under 304. Like you're actually a person looking to be in a relationship because there are so many men that I've been told recently that actually want to be in a relationship, but they can't find anyone that's relationship material. So I'm like, if women change their ways about these certain things, that would make you more relationship material. And I think the guy has to have more respect and look at you with more respect and find you as a person that you may be actually worth investing in because you hold yourself to a higher standard for your future somebody.
So true. And also in regards to the red pill guys, when we hear them that men are spinning plates, what they're saying, I think they're just responding to what's around them. If the feminists are slutty, let's say, they're just floozies and they allow the easy access to sex, like why not to use it? If I were a man, I would probably take a full advantage of that too. You know, it's like you would be stupid almost like not to use when you are offered sex for free without any obligation that you wouldn't have to commit. I mean, Coco, don't you think that?
I mean, true. I mean, it's true. It's true.
This is why we have the neocortex brain to overpower our emotions and our feelings and also our basic instincts also, because sex is one of the basic instincts. And if a woman puts you on restriction in a later relationship, for example, she says, oh, I'm not available. This is something that Paul was talking about. There is a condition there. I forgot what's the name for it. DST, I think, something like that. Yeah, when a woman constantly comes up like, oh, like headaches, all of the excuses not to have sex with you when she married you, right? And then you have to go because you still have this physiological need, right? Sex is another physiological need that we need to satisfy. So both men and women need it to some extent, right? We can elaborate who needs it more, but in reality, like both partners need it, right? And not partners, but like spouses. And so if she tells you no, or she puts a lot of restraints on you after when you are married, for example, if you don't do this, I won't sleep with you. Like comply with all of this list of demands, and then I'll sleep with you. This will never end. You are operating under
that's a covert contract to a degree. Like that's exactly what that is. Like they don't tell you that these are the expectations that they have of you, and then when you don't do that, they give you an ultimatum. And the girls are upset for some reason that you didn't know that. Does that make sense?
Really good advice. It does. It really does. Actually.
Like, so that's why it's like people need to put everything out on the table. Like, if this is what, if you want this from me as a woman or from a man, this is what I need from you in order for this to work. Like, and they say that women are the gatekeepers to sex, but at the same point, like, I disagree because biblically they're not supposed to be. They're supposed to be the givers. Like, you're not supposed to deny your husband. If your husband, it doesn't matter if you're fighting. If your husband wants it, don't be a dead starfish, but you don't have to be super enthusiastic about it. Like, you don't need to be like on a 10 scale today, but you could be at about a 5 as long as you're still like going through the motions and, you know, just getting in the groove of things. You know, that's fine. Like, don't be a dead starfish, but you don't need to be a 10. Like, that's
well, she would be a 10 to a 10, and this is when women restrain sex, they get it elsewhere. Eventually they will need to get it elsewhere because it's a physiological need. So what men do, they go to porn, right, oftentimes, and then their wives catch them. Oh, how dare you went to porn? I did not approve of that action. But then she goes and cheats on you, and she installs the password on her phone, and then she actually goes and cheats on you. Yeah, you are just gazing, like eyeballing. Right, but she goes and sleeps with the guy. And, like cheating if we look at cheating, it's perceived differently by men and women. It affects men and women differently. So if men have mental capacity to say like, no, it's just a lover, but I still love my wife, I still commit to her, they will still stay married and in the family. They will still take care of the wife and the children. For a woman, she emotionally starts cheating on you with another man, and then she will perceive you as a cheater, and because she will be cheating with you on her lover, let's say, because she will be emotionally invested into that guy, and that's when she will prepare to leave you. If she,
I agree.
approval from that guy, and then he's like, oh yeah, ditch this guy, I'll take care of you, and then she's like, bye, see you. And then she'll take the kids and everything. Okay, guys, a very interesting conversation today. Thank you for calling in,
Well,
Jen.
thank you for having me too on the show. I've had a lot of fun today.
Yeah, we love
you
to have
too.
Thank you.
Cool. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for joining us today, Accounting Ship, Jack Side, and Ashton. Always a pleasure to have Ashton here.
Yeah,
we are going to wrap it up. Cool. Okay. If you have any requests for the next topic that we can talk about, please send us the comments or let us know in the chat what you'd like us to talk about next time. Let's keep it like every Wednesday. Coco, what do you think about it? Do you want to, shall we keep it every Wednesday so we get some call-ins and do like a mix?
Yeah, I think having some consistency would be good. So if we want to make this like a Wednesday thing, sure. I think that's great. I need to find my other ring light because it's been getting so much darker here a lot sooner that like it makes my camera hard to see me. So we could try to do like aim for like 5 if 5 works for you. We could start like promptly at 5 because then if we go for about an hour, then it shouldn't be too dark until I find my ring light, so that way I'm not like in the dark.
Yeah,
because then by the time that we're done, I can take my dog for a walk. Because like right now, he's licking my feet. And he's like, "Mom, I gotta finish going potty. You cut it short, remember?"
I know my dog is whining here. He has been whining for the past half hour. He wants food. Yeah, so let's keep it rolling. We will do another one for you, and we'll keep it every Wednesday at 5 p.m. PST, Pacific time zone. So convert the time into your time zone and join us. If you have more experiences and observations, please share them. It's very interesting to get the call-ins, so we'll do it after we cover the basic topic and warm up a little bit. Then we'll get the call-ins. And yeah, we would love to hear a couple of stories. Let's keep it two stories, okay? We can have the same people in if you have different questions, guys. It's always a pleasure to see you, okay? Cool. So yeah, text us, tell us what you'd like to talk about next time so that we get a chance to prepare. And then remember to go follow Paul from Common Man Podcast. He actually did a very deep dive in video where he was breaking each point. There were 39 points. We kind of tried to summarize them based on scenario, but he did them point by point based on the book by Robert Glover. The 18 Essentials for Men, Frequently Asked Questions. So you can get that book on Amazon. And yeah, check his video out. It's only 30 minutes long.
Yeah, he's a great guy. I saw him here in Vegas. He's funny. He's a hoot and a half.
Nice.
Oh, he's so funny. Yeah.
Hoot and a half.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I've got to bounce. So thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you for having me. I had a lot of fun. Thank you.
Yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe the page, and share with everybody. Let people know like what's going on, what our Wednesdays are going to be about.
And go follow COCO. Go follow COCO. The links are in the description box. Follow her on Instagram and check out Pillow Talk with COCO YouTube channel. Okay.
All right. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.